Welcome back to Berks One-on-One. Today's episode is going to be on the Reading Theatre Project's 5-Minute Fringe Fest, which took place from Friday, February 27th to Sunday, March 1st. These variety performances were all based around the one word, legacy, and I got to speak to some of the performers as well as the writers to discuss what exactly legacy means to them and how it influenced their performance.
Hi, my name is Jewel Brown, and I am the director of 5-Minute Fringe for this year. The theme is Legacy. In the Reading Theatre Project, I am also a sound designer and the production manager. 5-Minute Fringe is a foundational landmark of Reading Theatre Project. We are in our 11th year. It is a great space for collaboration and exploration of artists. The submission process begins in December with a committee who reviews the submissions. We select the participants, we inform them, and they begin creative labs where they work on their work. They take their ideas from the page to the stage.
My name is Jody Reppert, and I am the artistic director at Reading Theatre Project. So I'm just new into the position the last couple of, since the beginning of January. So just getting my feet wet, and this year's Fringe is the first production that I'm helping out with. It's an amazing collection of lots of different art forms. So there's music and dance, and there's puppetry, original scenes that are created and monologues, and it's kind of like a workshop for new ideas, and there's just the spark of something that could grow into something more. And again, lots of performers that are trying out new things.
It's cool for people who don't have time to learn the chords or ain't interested in it, but to play music is one of the greatest things, to create something from nothing. He's one of the greatest speakers, and
My name is Mike Schott. My stage name is GMS, so you might see me either form there. I just started with RTP about last year. My first play that I was involved with was Intimate Exposures. I really just was ushered for like a night or two, and I went to like every showing. It was incredible. I was blown away by RTP. Not only the professionalism, but just the creative talent and level of execution is just incredible. Like a lot of times people think you gotta sacrifice for quality, for community, and RTP proves that wrong in so many ways. Not only is it an awesome open community theater space, but seriously, their level of talent is just beyond this world. So, like I said, I started with RTP last year. I did a play reading sometime last year as well. That was hero work by Adam Richter. That was awesome. And you know, I was participating in last year's Fringe and in Nature Studio. So I'm glad to be back for this year's 2026 Fringe Legacy. Last year, you know, I just performed. So for me this year, taking on the assistant stage manager, the ASM role, was definitely an adjustment. I'm still learning. I'm still a little nervous, and you're wearing two different hats as a performer and as someone who's coordinating stuff backstage. So you know, there's like this moment where I switch out of the stage manager mode, go into my piece, I do it, I bring it off stage, and then I'm right back in stage manager mode. So it's almost like flipping a switch. And it's a really great experience. I mean, Sean and Jewel, Sean's the stage manager, Jewel's the director. They've set me up for success, and the whole cast and crew is just so great. They're so patient and understanding, and I have a couple people helping me from the crew, and you know, without them, we wouldn't be able to make this show work. So yeah, like I said, my stage name is GMS. I'm a producer and an MC. You know, I make rap music, hip hop music. I actually have an album coming out March 3rd. It's called Rebel Renaissance. It'll be streaming on all platforms. I just dropped a single this week called Take for Granted. Again, that's under GMS. That's all platforms: YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, all that good stuff. And for me, doing this RTP, this theater space, it was a new step last year. As a rapper, as a hip hop person, like I never really did theater before, but I always kind of wanted to. So RTP, you know, Fringe last year gave me the space to actually bring those two worlds together, because theatrical elements are actually all over hip hop. Not only in the recorded music, like the albums, but also live performances. People like Biggie and Big Daddy Kane, you know, they incorporated all sorts of skits into their performances. So in a way, it's like, you know, keeping that tradition of hip hop alive as well. Because it's not just rapping, it's not just beats, it's a whole culture, it's a whole movement behind hip hop. And, you know, theater has a space in there too. So, you know, I think being able to blend the rap, the beats, and the theater all into one is like a dream come true for me.
I got involved with the theater project in 2017. I had just moved back home from Philadelphia, where I was a student at Temple University, and I came back home and I didn't really have a community anymore. All of my friends left, were married, had kids, and through a series of weird and crazy events, I ended up at a town hall interest meeting with Reading Theater Project, and I introduced myself to Joel Gorey as a sound designer, and the rest is a legacy.
My name is Sean Sasso. I am the stage manager for the 5 Minute Fringe Festival Legacy this year. I'm also a member of the creative team artistic leadership for Reading Theater Project. I have been working with them since 2017, I believe. The Fringe Project is kind of the seminal project of what Reading Theater Project does every year. We do it every year. It kicks off in January, where we read through a bunch of submissions that we receive over the holiday season. Submissions from local artists of plays, monologues, dance, music, wide variety of live performance. We spend a couple weeks meeting once a week in what we call creative labs, which are sort of rehearsals, but also more of a show and tell process for people to get feedback about their pieces, ask questions about where they are, how they can further enhance their piece. And then we put it all together in 1 week at the end of February, and we spend 1 week putting all the technical elements together, and then present it in front of an audience over the course of 1 weekend.
Kiddo, it's Pops. I know you at your desk all dressed up to thrive, and I know you didn't answer cause the apple's never far from the shade of the tree. Let me alleviate your mind. Or maybe your grievances with time and the lack of it we shared, cause I'd give it to my job. I made sure if nothing else, I taught you sacrifice. It wasn't fair to you, you had to make one all along.
My name is Rob. I go by Crux, the Earth's Crux. My first time with the Reading Theater Project was about this time last year, where I was suggested to do Fringe by another performer named Mike. I think just music being a foundational thing in my life. Like some of my earliest memories are music that I heard in cars, at home, commercials, music videos, you know, that kind of thing. And as I got older and was able to find the music that I like, I was able to find things that really spoke to me and helped me understand myself, the world, and my place in it. And I always felt like it just made sense for me to pay it back by doing the same thing. Whatever thing that you are most inclined to do just because you love it, that would be the thing that you start with. Whether that's, you know, for something like this, we have musical artists, dancers, puppeteers, full-on actors, someone's reading a poem that is very, very near and dear and vulnerable. So whatever it is, it could be anything, and you find little communities in your community that do things like this, where you have a community of people coming together that are like-minded. They may not do the same thing that you do, but they see the value in creativity and fostering a sense of being welcome to explore your creativity. And then from there, it's just about the work, just fine-tuning your craft, trusting other people to help you do that, and also helping other people in ways that you might be able to help them. From my end, it makes it easier to remove myself from the story and kind of make it about this other character. And I'll infuse little bits of myself, you know, little flashes of truth from my life. But it makes it easier to sandwich a bunch of different things into one piece that otherwise might be a lot more difficult to tackle. My official artist name is The Earth's Crux, all one word. Shorthand is Crux, that's what I'm listed as on the bill. But my most recent album came out last year, or like shortly after I did Fringe, I believe, and it's called Smile Scheme. It is a like kind of my take on the Twilight Zone. Like if I had an episode of the Twilight Zone, what that would be like. And it's really good. It's really good. I love it a lot. It was an idea that I had like kind of baking in my head for years, and then I finally was like, well, I might as well just do it. And it took a lot of time, money, energy, and I'm really proud of it. It's a very it was a milestone moment for me to finish it and put it out. So if you're seeing this and you're curious, take the journey and just know that I appreciate you listening to it.
When he came home at night, he used to come running to me, not to the others, but to me. He would pick me up high and he would say, "You are so pretty." I'm Elaine Soltis, and this is a dream come true. I wrote the piece called Affectionately. It's about Marilyn, who would be 100 years old this coming June. And when you talk about legacy, I thought, oh my gosh, who could be anything like Marilyn? Never has been anyone, never will be anyone. This is my 6th monologue for 5 Minute Fringe, Reading Theater Project. I wrote and performed each, and maybe someday, ultimately, another dream will come true, and I might be able to direct the 6 segments with different actresses, and I would just be over the moon about that. I find that I write in such a speed, it's almost like 15 to 20 minutes, and I write it longhand with a pencil and a pad of paper, and I grab the pages and I'm crumpling them up and rewriting, and it takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and then fine-tuning it, and then submitting it, and then praying. Oh, my gosh. I used to be an equity actress. I'm retired. I was a member for maybe 25 years, and called into audition, and you would be reading words that sometimes didn't seem authentic, or you're trying to make them natural. But in doing this, I said to myself, someday I'm going to write for women, and I'm going to write real life about what women go through in their lives. And that's my process. So Reading Theater Project was the vehicle to make that transformation for me from being an actress. I am a working artist, and now I have this 6 monologues for women that I wrote. You get the nerves and you're a little skittish, and you take the deep breaths. And the thing that I can only tell people that might come behind me is to say, put yourself in a situation of where you're really, really adjusting to the character. But first, you're a human being. And so eat, drink water, sleep well, and try to have fun every day.
Fringe is always a really good mix of returning Reading Theater Project people and new people, and I think that's really great. It really gives us a space to build community in a way that a traditional stage show doesn't give us that chance. This year we have musical acts, we have some dancers, we also have straight monologues, poetry, a really good variety of talent and acts are on display.
Let's get right to the elephant in the room. What's with the giant ray, Doctor?
Well, when you have a giant ray like this, you must show it off, yeah? It's a boring job. Some brushing on some spray pen.
Andrew.
Yeah. Or Dr. Nicodemus Scumblumen.
Yes, in this one.
And I have a talk show.
And I'm a dentist, a cycloptic dentist. Well, I've been involved with Reading Theater Project for over 10 years, so.
Yeah, long time for him.
Yeah, so, been a long time.
And we just started doing puppets, and
Now we're here.
now we have puppets.
It's been working so far, you know, we've been fooling them.
We watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah, on how to make stuff and materials and glue.
And we're artists, so we know how to do a lot of art stuff.
This one was inspired by a meme, actually, where
Memes.
a guy gets kicked out of church with this crazy track behind him, and security take him out. Da, da, da. You know, he gets escorted to the best music possible. So that was the impetus for the entire production, basically.
Among other things, too.
Yeah, Nadi always wanted.
It is named after me.
She did want to have her own talk show. So.
Hello! We love Fringe.
It's a good place to exercise what you want to do that's just experimental, like puppetry or basically anything weird that you want to get out. So that's the best part of Fringe.
The best.
And it's every year, so you know when it's coming up. This took a couple months to write, actually.
And you can put your weirdness out there. Yay!
Am I an ancestor on your mother's side or father's side?
Father's, I'm pretty sure.
Where's the rest of your family from?
My family was killed by the Empire.
Oh, that's terrible. Is there no end to British cruelty?
What? Oh, I was just making a joke. That's from a movie.
Then tell me about yourself, Mark. What has my great descendant done with his life?
Not much, really. I'm pretty chill. My name's Tony Quinones. The piece that me and Allison are in is called Hot Dog of Destiny. Written by Adam Richter. Essentially about a time traveler who accidentally travels back to the 1800s to meet his 11th great-great-grandmother, and all kinds of wackiness ensues.
Yeah, and for like my character, Sally, it was just really interesting because I had to go back in time and really like envision how she would be when she was like in that age time. And to really work with Mark's character, well, Tony's character, which is Mark. It's just it was a lot of fun to really put together because it's such a great piece and it has so much comedy, it has so many opportunities that you can find within it. So it was just a lot of fun to do.
I saw Fringe last year and I thought, oh, that'd be really cool. I'd like to be in that. So I actually wrote a piece to do myself, but it wasn't accepted, which, you know, they have so many pieces. It is what it is. But Jewel Brown, who's the production manager of Fringe this year, she sent me an email asking if I'd still want to be a part of it, like actor or director. And I was like, yeah. And then pretty soon after, Adam Richter emailed me and asked if I wanted to be in his piece. And I was like, absolutely. So, yeah. How about you?
Yeah. So with Reading Theater Project, I started with Proud, which was just done last season. And I played the zookeeper for that show. And so that's been my experience with Reading Theater Project.
If you can come to one of their shows in some way, follow them on Facebook. Follow them on social media because it helps to keep up to date with what they're doing. And if you could, like, you know, introduce yourselves to people that work with Reading Theater Project, you know, that's a good opportunity.
I would just say be prepared to work really hard.
Yeah.
Because it is a very short window of time to get to know the material and channel your character and do all the things. So just be prepared that you gotta work hard.
Yeah, I underestimated a bit how much work we would have to do for this, but you know, it is what it is. It's ultimately fun. It's an interesting challenge because I'm used to doing full length plays, so it was interesting to do like one piece, but it's still, you still have to put about the same amount of work that you would anything else.
And it's actually quite a lengthy piece,
Yeah.
I think.
It's one of the longer 5-minute Fringe pieces, at not 5 minutes.
Yes.
For the most part, everybody works individually and then comes together during the creative labs to share their process, share their progress, and get feedback from one another. It's a really collaborative effort that is built from the ground up by the entire group of artists. A lot of my focus ends up in the technical elements, things like lighting, if anybody has any sound cues that they need played over the speakers, helping to coordinate the transitions between pieces. Instead of a regular play where things kind of move from one scene to the next organically, these are, in this year's instance, 11 completely individual and separate pieces from one another. So there's a lot of quick set changes that need to happen as chairs need to be brought on, tables need to be brought off, and all of that sort of thing. So I help coordinate those things from a logistical standpoint. I went to college for theater. I'm a graduate of Albright College here in Reading, and RTP was kind of the first professional theater group that I found after college, and it's been an incredible sort of transition from collegiate theater into professional working. So reach out to us. Check out our website, readingtheaterproject.org. That's a great place to start. Send us an email. Let us know, hey, I'm interested in these things. How can I be of help? And we'd be happy to bring you into the fold.
I have been watching NBC Nightly News with my father for as long as I can remember. Theoretically, it's optional.
But not really, especially since he quizzes us on current events at dinner, right after the news.
In those days, there were only 3 places to get your news: CBS, ABC, and NBC. We were first and always an NBC family. David Brinkley, John Chancellor, Tom Brokaw, and oh, how my father loved Jessica Savage.
Good night, Jessica. My name's Kevin. I'm playing the man, the father of Beth.
I'm Beth Toner. I wrote the show, and I am playing the narrator, who is a not-so-veiled version of adult me.
I am playing Rebecca. I am Rebecca, and I am playing the girl, sisters, and brothers.
Well, you know, I've been grappling with this story for a long time. My father passed away 45 years ago when I was 14, and I think I've just started to, we're living in an era where the nature of truth is really nebulous, and how do you know a person that you really didn't know for very long? So it's really about how do you figure out who this person was, and how do you come to terms with what you know, what you don't know. And so, I latched onto, my father was a really complicated man. I said to somebody that, to say he was complicated is like saying Donald Trump is naughty. It's just an understatement. So what do I remember about him that was hard, that was difficult, and what do I remember about him that was special and important? And it hinges on that one memory that I really held on to all my life.
I was really challenged in this one because the characters are right after one another. So I was just playing around with the people I know in my life, how do they sound, different accents. Every time I do a different accent, a different character comes to play. And then at the end, I have to get rid of the accents, but now the character comes to play. And Beth told me a little bit about her sisters and brothers to try to bring them into fruition.
Yeah.
And I took a bit from my father, who was very authoritarian and not so squishy around the edges as it would be for your father. So, well, this one, Beth and I have known each other for a little over a year, and when she asked me if I was interested, we have a theater history, as they say, and when she asked me to do it, I knew it would be good, so I just jumped at the chance.
And then Kevin called me or texted me and said, hey, are you interested in doing a voiceover or possibly the girl? And I said, sure. And then this came to be. Yeah.
Sucker.
Yeah. And I had done a solo piece 2 years ago at Reading Fringe, and it was a lovely experience. This particular group, there are no egos, and it's just fun to do stuff that's, fringe, right? On the edge.
And you must take me for a fool. If I did it before, I certainly do now. and they're laughing at me. And now you're laughing at me too. I didn't come here for me. There's nothing that these whispers could tell me that I did not discover on my own years ago.
I'm Tara Mitchell, and I am with the Visit to Reader.
I'm Daphne McMaster. I am also with Visit to the Reader. I am playing the reader. Tara's playing the visitor.
In early times, we're going to say pre-World War II, a lot of the relocated African Americans would go to readers for cultural advice or just kind of ways to make it through the world that they were in at that time, and we thought that was an interesting time period. And the question of, what happens if you're going to someone for advice and they use that power for their own good? What happens? And that's kind of what our scene's about.
Our writer's actually in the audience tonight. This has been a labor of love, I think, for her, and just collaboratively the entire team that's worked on this. As far as the concept, we've kind of just been going through it and finding our beats within the text.
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously the theme of legacy for this Fringe gave way to the idea about, our legacy. And so I reached out to a friend of mine who has really cool ideas to kind of merge historical events or, time periods and different things like that, and really kind of take them to an imaginative place. And so I enlisted her help, and we developed that story. It's a lot of her genius, and from there we're just bringing it to life.
So this is not my first time involved with running a theater project. Initially, my first Fringe, 5-Minute Fringe, was in 2022. I was in 2 separate shows, so I kind of knew how the process worked when I got called in for this particular role. And it's been great working with them. It's always something new, something edgy. Usually I'm crying in some capacity.
For sure. Well, I've had the pleasure of being mentored by the founder of Reading Theater Project. And so I've gained knowledge from inside and out about how it works. And this is my second Fringe to be a part of this year. I was just like, you know what? I did everything last year. I'd love to work with some people and have a good time in a group setting. But it's always fun. It's always a supportive environment. And just giving a voice to different types of creators, and I love that.
My advice is that Reading Theater Project is a very welcoming place, so whether you have done theater professionally for a long time or you are novice, curious, in between, it really allows the space for you to play and to grow in certain capacities that you might not have worked with before. For anybody trying to get involved, definitely would recommend reaching out to anyone on staff within Reading Theater Project. They will guide you in the direction you need to go. Writers, directors, producers, lighting, sound, whatever touch point you want to learn about theater, even your own general music understanding, you can come here and find a way.
Yes, for sure. I mean, once you hear Fringe, you hear that there is no holds barred in terms of what you can offer. And I think where there are bigger markets that could kind of be really intimidating, this is a great market to come in, to break through, to get your feet wet, feel supported, but then also know that it's a county and it's a neighborhood, it's a community that really supports the arts. So you are going to have a great audience and you're going to have interest in what you're doing. So I just say go for it.
Well, actually, Reading Theater Project is unique in that there's a systematic approach that we take with things. So we have monthly brainstorming sessions that playwrights get together and they'll share their work and read their work with each other and then give suggestions. And then we also have staged readings where once a work has progressed, we'll actually get it in front of an audience. We do staged readings at the Goggle Works and also staged readings at the Wyomissing Library. And then beyond that, we also have taken works to become full-blown productions. Banshee, the show that actually I'm directing in the spring, is a play that Adam Richter, the playwright, he's been working on it for a while, and that is one that started out just as a brainstorming session and has developed into a full-blown production that we're doing this spring.
She is. My mom said, most little girls look like roses, but you look like a cabbage.
I have an idea.
I was the inspiration for Cabbage Patch Kids.
Just to say,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
But my mom cut me out of the contract.
I'm so sorry.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Jeanette.
And we're Photos and Photos Comedy, and we are doing the 5 Minute Fringe in 5 minutes, a legacy, which is an improvised performance based on all the other shows in the show.
Correct. Oh wow, we've been involved with Reading Theater Project for a number of years, probably over a decade.
Yeah.
So I guess through acting and then just through also maybe some play readings, and then we became involved, it's a really creative community to be a part of, and what else could we add?
Yeah, that pretty much. Yeah, I mean, we both started when we were much younger. We met doing improv in college.
Right.
And for me, it was always kind of a way where you could really channel sort of your voice and who you are into a creative outlet. And it's a way to like really work, collaborate with people. Yeah.
Well, we could say we were like highly influenced by improv growing up in the Chicagoland area, so it was something that was always part of a scene where we grew up and then became part of our schooling and then part of our professional lives and training as actors, but then into our own teaching too. We're both teachers,
yeah.
Also outside of performing.
Well, the RTP Fringe is a great way to see a whole bunch of different artists doing a whole bunch of different things in a short amount of time. So it's sort of like a old school variety show where you can see a bunch of different things and a bunch of different people doing things, and then you can start to follow those people.
And it's something that if you are a creator yourself or you're interested in getting into whether it's directing, acting, writing, playwriting, or you have some great idea that you don't know what to do with, they do this every year, so it's a great place to be able to share that. And a wonderful outlet if you're not sure where you should take it. Somebody here will help you figure out where to take your idea.
Yeah. You can catch us April 1st at Building 24 for our next Photos and Photos show, I Pity the Fool.
I Pity the Fool who doesn't come to some comedy on April 1st.
This is my first time directing a production ever. I've been involved in all sorts of things in the theater, and I feel honored that a production very close to me is my very first directorial debut. You can get involved by going to readingtheaterproject.org. We have a show in the spring called Banshee that's written by Adam Richter, who's a local playwright. We're always looking for volunteers and people to be a part of our productions.
So we have open calls for auditions. We have open calls for our stage readings for both the works that we do and then also for performers on our website. You can just keep an eye out for those open calls, and then we also, again, we'll send out audition notices that people can get involved. Yeah, it's just a collection of amazing artists who share their work. It is such a positive, overwhelmingly neat process, just a creative explosion of ideas, lots of different, it's a place where people take artistic chances and put it out there, and it's a supportive group that are really terrific with one another. So it's just a great environment that's been created.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be creating live art not just in Reading, but in the country. I think everybody has a story to tell, everybody has something that they should say, and we're happy to provide a platform to allow people to do that.
Coming into the theater space, you're going to be working you're going to be working with lots of actors, and we're working with directors, stage managers, all of that, so you're part of a bigger whole. And that's a great feeling, and if you really stick with it, especially with theater, you're going to come to love that feeling. Every show, it's like you're building a whole family in 4 weeks, in 8 weeks, and by the time you're done with it, you're sad to see them go. But the beautiful part about RTP is you'll probably see them the next show, right? So I would say try it. Just try it. Try the new thing. If you don't like it, you can always try something else. If you don't like acting, you can try doing backstage. Vice versa, if you don't like backstage, try acting. You can write, you can do music, you can do sound and lights. There's so many different things to do, and sometimes it almost feels like what you do is almost just a formality because you just want to be a part of this thing. And I think that's my biggest advice, is like being part of something, being part of art and being part of community is more valuable than gold. So just be a part of it. Just come out, join the community, even be an audience member. You can start there. You don't have to jump off the deep end and go right into doing something crazy out of your comfort zone. Just come out and be a part of something, because that's going to make your life more valuable and more, what I want to say, every life is valuable, but it's going to enrich your experience here on Earth.
Thank you guys for watching. For more information, be sure to check out the Reading Theater Project's link in the description below, and perhaps you might be able to sign up for your own 5-Minute Fringe Fest next year. For more information, be sure to check out the Reading Theater Project's link in the description below. And to keep up to date with any other events I might be visiting in the area, be sure to subscribe and follow me on my socials, also linked in the description below. Until next time, this is Berks 1-on-1, signing off.
As far as your experience with the
I gotta
project,
take a break.
You're good. Take your time.
Okay. What's the question then?
You're like duck your head down. Just keep your head up. You're in the you're in a.
I'll just do it like this from now on.
No.
Exhausted.